exciting. Ask me something. What is it? About me? Now you're asking a lot. But because it's you, I won't be like that just this once. In my youth, I saw a lot of the world, and I feel at home in a lot of places in Midden Realm. So eventually, I arrived back here in Ferdok. This is the loveliest city of all. Even with the strange events of the past few years, there's nowhere in Midden Realm I'd rather be. Who would have thought that old Ardo would turn up here, of all places? Perhaps Vex arranged for me to come here in order that I might see him again. Oh, what's so exciting? Ask me something. What is it? The feud between the Nicebecks and the Storbrants is almost as much of a part of Ferdok as our pale ale. Anytime you hear squabbling going on between the wagoners, captains and clerks down at the port, all I know is the plots being hatched as part of the feud are becoming more and more dastardly all the time. One of the Storbrants' wagon trains was lured into the Moorbridge marshes recently by incorrect signposts. Another was held up by a false customs official until an important market in Ferdok was over. The Nicebeck family is reputed to have been behind both these events. But only Vex can say which side will prevail in the end. Ask me something. What is it?
Happen? Why should anything happen? You really have got a lot.
Oh, that...
Well, how can good old Draenor help you out of trouble? Of course, I'd be delighted to help you. As a gallant lover, I shall maintain my silence on that matter. I will tell you this, though. She's the most wonderful, most enchanting, and most affectionate creature in all Aventuria. Of course, I'd be delighted to help you. I'm Draenor of Belhonka, a noble of the bluest blood. Forgive me, I'm just so used to playing that role now. I'm not actually a Horasian, although I try very hard to come across as one. I'm Draenor of Grambush, a small town not far from Gareth. Well, life there didn't have a lot to offer me, and I had other talents besides raising livestock and farming. So before I got into trouble with the bailiff, I traveled to Gareth to pursue a career as a thief. Vex has been good to me. Until today, the worst that ever happened was the occasional black eye. Well, oh well, have it your...
Sonyasala Feyama, what would you like? I'd be happy to answer you, if I can. As far as I've been able to find out, the Moorbridge marshes are a phenomenon. The area was once known as Ferngrove, and was filled with villages, meadows, and agricultural land. Yet during the Magic Wars 400 years ago, the region was transformed into a desolate swamp as a result of bitter conflicts between magicians. The villages either sank or were abandoned, and those killed in the magical battle became undead or wandering spirits. Those they killed joined them in their undeath. I'd be happy to answer you, if I can. He was the protector of an enchanted forest, which grew and flourished here hundreds of years ago. It was full of tame animals and herbs with magical properties. One day, humans advanced into this part of the forest. They felled many trees and built small settlements. None of this threatened the balance of the protected grove, however, as my ancestor used his magical powers over the plant and animal kingdom to keep the mortals in their place. On the day when what the Rosiers call the Magic Wars began, this balance was shattered. The light-filled fern grove became the stage for an earth-shattering trial of strength between the most diverse sorcerers. My answer did everything in his power to keep the horror of the heedless fighting away from his forest. Even after dark magicians had defeated him in battle and mocked him by interring him in a travesty of a high elf burial rite, his enraged soul entered the last tree of life left in the grove. From there, he continued to battle the enemies of his grove, even after his death. I'd be happy to answer you, if I can. The sole instrument, or iyama, of an elf is that which binds his soul, his comprehension and feelings through the band of submission to this being. It is, however, important to realize that this band is not a chain, even though it can sometimes become one, as in the case of my ancestor. It often takes the form of a beautifully crafted musical instrument, but can also be an animal or even a weapon. I'd be happy to answer you, if I can. My tribe lives a secluded life in the ancient city of our ancestors. Its existence has until now been shielded from human curiosity. I'm sure you can imagine the fear we felt when a mountebank used my forefathers' sole instrument to find us. Don't think, however, that my tribe avoids other races out of fear or aversion. Our seclusion is solely for the protection of the mortals who often lead the world into their corrupt ways. Although they do this knowingly, it's not something they desire. This is a characteristic my people once shared, but swore to cast aside forever.
What is it? Of course, just ask. About me? Oh, I'm just a crummy bodyguard, nothing more. All right, since it's you, I'll tell you a bit about myself. I was born the son of an axesmith, and spent my younger years as a tunnel hunter and guard to the mine workers in my home enclave. Not everything they find down there is valuable, you know, or safe. One day, I was running an errand for the Gold Prospectors Guild in the land of the humans. There, I tasted our delicious Ferdok Pale Ale for the first time. And while I was looking for work in order to earn back the gold I'd squandered so that I could travel home, I came across Ardo. Of course, just ask. Oh, don't give me that old nonsense. It's been like that ever since the Storbrent started trying to gain a foothold here. Ardo told me the first thing Storbrent did was to buy himself some influence in the city council through generous gifts. Of course, old Nicebeck wasn't going to stand for that. She refused to allow him to join the Ferdok Merchants Guilds. Well, the other side wasn't going to put up with that either. They got their lawyers to deny the Nicebeck ship, which was laden with expensive goods from Havana, permission to dock. They used some kind of writ about preventing the spread of a rare disease, I believe. The worst thing, though, is still the problem of the black market. The Ferdok guardsmen from the port can barely find their helmets on their heads, let alone detect smuggled goods. Apparently the Nicebecks are behind that too, but who knows anything in all this chaos? Things are changing with the wind at the moment. It's really irritating. Of course, just ask. What is it?
By Rondra, what do you want? That depends on the question. That's none of your business. That depends on the question. Let's just say that the man who did this to me never really recovered from his injury. That depends on the question. I wander on Rondra's path. That's all you need to know about me. That depends on the question. Anything else?
As you wish. This tree is so beautiful. Its shadow provides comfort and peace. Sanyasala Fayama. Wonderful.
Good choice. Listen up, everyone.
Aye!
Let me do that.